I think Brad Underwood and Bret Bielema are the best head coaching combo in the entire Big Ten Conference. Let's debate.
You are Locked On Illini, your daily podcast on the Illinois Fighting Illini. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome one, welcome all to a special Memorial Day edition of Locked On Illini. I thank you all so much for making us your first listen each and every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. My name is Sunny Verma, your host here at Locked On Illini, where I continue to provide you coverage daily. That's right, every day, including on the federal holidays of the beloved. I ask for nothing in return. The only thing you can help me out with is if you smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I wanted to take a second to thank the former and current members of the military on this special day. Just know that we're all thinking about you and we're all grateful for everything you've done for our country. With it being Memorial Day on Locked On Illini, I wanted to do something a little bit different. So for today, we actually debate the top Big Ten coaching combos. We're talking about basketball and we're talking about football. And I'll be honest, I just got done recording it. My audio seems a little bit off. If it sounds off to you, just know it's not your speaker, it's me. It's something I'll look into the future, make sure it doesn't happen again. I did want to apologize. But again, I did want to give you that little warning before I got started. I hope you guys enjoy the show. I'll see you on the other side. All right, it's Monday, so I decided to let's start off with a fun topic. Let's set the mood for the rest of the week. What I wanted to do was talk top Big Ten coaches combos. Now, obviously, I think it was about a week and a half ago, Brad Underwood and Bret Bielema both got contract extensions. And so I saw a lot of discourse on this, a lot of graphics being made up about which team has or which program has the best combination of basketball and football coaches in the Big Ten Conference. Now, for this, I needed to bring on two experts. First, I'll bring on JR. JR, friend of the show, thanks for coming on.
Best expert first. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't find a second expert, and so I kept going down the list, and eventually I did find old friend of the show, Kent, Casual Big Ten. Thanks for coming back on.
Hey, man, I'm so excited to be here. I'll say I'm not an expert. It's in the name. I'm casual, baby. Just here to talk sports. I love it.
That's exactly what we're going to do. So, again, I know I'm going to be a little biased. It's right now, as my shirt says, it's a great time to be an Illini. So what I wanted to do with this episode was bring outside perspective and see what, a casual Big Ten watcher and a guy who writes and talks about the Big Ten every single day, what you guys might think. So that's going to be the topic of today, top Big Ten coach combos. Let's start with one. I'll go first. I'm the host of the show, and I have to say the University of Illinois, the Fighting Illini. I just think that considering the job that Bret Bielema has done with this Illinois program, as of this recording, they have the 8th best recruiting class in next year's class. Brad Underwood obviously is one of, I think, 5 or 6 coaches who's won 20-plus games for 5 years in a row. Both teams, I think, are going to be ranked in the top 15 going into next season. My vote for number 1 is Illinois. Am I crazy? Am I biased? Tell me.
I don't think you're crazy or biased. I got them number 2, so they're right behind the next one for me. I do think that the team above them that I have has had a little bit more success, but if you look at like the context of everything and I'll just say it. I have Oregon number 1 for me. Those 2 coaches have had more success than Bret Bielema and Brad Underwood have, but it's no slight because you also look at the football program of Illinois and they don't have nearly as many resources. So I don't think it's crazy to say if you look at the context.
And that's kind of where I come from. Dan Lanning has done a fantastic job. Don't get me wrong. A lot of coaches have been the coach of Oregon and not had the success that he's had. But the amount of resources that he has compared to what Bret's doing and the job Bret's been doing with this Illinois program, I wanted to give him a little credit. Full disclosure, Oregon was my number 2, and I absolutely understand the argument of them being number 1. But this being Locked On Illini, and again, the vibes are great around Champaign. I want to give Illinois love. Kent, who's your number 1?
I went with Michigan State number 1, and I did it based on the fact that they have far and away the best coach in either of the two sports in Tom Izzo. And I think that the weight of what he's done over the course of his career, and even, I mean, I know recently it hasn't been great, but the runs that he's been able to put up, like even the last 10 years, have been so impressive. And what he's done for Michigan State, I mean, he turned Michigan State into like a household name. Like they weren't as big as they were when he took over, I would say, minus a couple years with Magic. But like Izzo has done so much for Michigan State, and he's carried them basically to what they are today. And I think that the weight of what he's done is so important. That's why I put them number 1, even though they have like a new guy on the football team. They got Smith as the football coach, and that might drag them down just a little bit. I'm still going to put Michigan State number 1 simply because it is Izzo, and that's it.
Yeah, Smith is interesting. I'm curious on what your guys' thoughts are, like rating the new guys, right? The Big Ten Conference has a few head coaches who just completed their first season. So it's difficult to decide how much weight you're going to put into that. I do have Michigan State on my list. Jared, do you have Michigan State anywhere? I'm not going to disclose where they are on my list. Do you have them anywhere or no?
Yeah, they're in my top 5. I think that for me, Smith just drags Izzo down too much, unfortunately. If Smith came in and made a bowl game, maybe got to 7 wins, I probably would have them somewhere top 3, but they're just top 5 for me. Izzo won a national championship, but that was also a while ago. So, if he would have got to the Final Four this year, maybe I would have changed my mind and had him higher. I mean, it's at this point, you're nitpicking at stuff, though. So he's in my top 5, but 1 or 2 game difference, he could easily, but with both coaches, he could easily be top 3.
Didn't they make the national championship in 19 though? It wasn't that long ago. Or was that just a Final Four?
I thought that was just a Final Four.
Might have been just a Final Four. I think they lost to Texas Tech that year. But still, I mean, he's still making those runs is impressive. Like, to me, I said, my argument for him is that he does have a national championship in his back pocket. And that's why I rated both the first 2 teams that I have as high as I did. And then just the longevity of what he's done and been able to do it for forever and what he's done for Michigan State. I'll go right into my number 2 if that's okay, since I'm kind of talking about it right now. I went Ohio State number 2. They have a coach that has a national championship. It just happened. He's lost less than 10 games in his career. So I think Ryan Day brings up Ohio State even higher than maybe they would be without him, considering that Diebler is the other half of that duo right now. Now, Diebler's done some okay things. He's been all right. Really enjoying his off-season videos right now that he's been posting, the film breakdown and everything. I love Diebler. But I have Ohio State number 2, and again, it's all because of what Ryan Day is able to do for the football team, and it just brings him up to the top for me. National championships do that.
I like the Ohio State pick. I guess we can just disclose where we have them. They're number 4 for me. When it comes to Ryan Day, as you mentioned, you're talking about a guy who just won a national title. And I don't know about you guys. Maybe we can spend 30 to 60 seconds talking about this. I was surprised when I looked at the combinations for each school. There's very few. I would actually argue Illinois and Oregon might just be the only ones that probably have a minimum B+ on both sides when it comes to football and basketball. And so when you go further down the list, at least for me, going past number 2, you basically take an elite coach, and then he can kind of carry the water for the other side who I might just consider a C or C+ coach. Like Kent, you said, for me, Ryan Day's won the national championship, and it's not like he needed to prove that national championship to me. We all know the stats. JR probably knows it exactly. He's lost 5 games in his entire career. It just so happens that it's against a lot of those bunches have been against Michigan, and so he gets a lot of flack. But he's just a flat-out really good coach. I have Ohio State at number 4.
Yeah, I got Ohio State at number 3. I think I know Diebler obviously gets a bad rap, and there's certain podcasters out there that just, kind of berate him mercilessly, and I get that. But at the end of the day, like, he's never lost to Matt Painter. He didn't have a front court at all last season, so I understand some people saying, "Oh, we'll knock him for that." My only thing is, if you're going to knock him for that, you also have to knock Sharon Moore in football for not having a quarterback last season. But the difference there is that Ohio State does have Ryan Day, who won a national championship. If Dusty May would have got to the Final Four this season, if he probably would have done that, I probably would have Michigan up there right next to, if not above, Ohio State. But that national championship with Ryan Day and what he's done, that holds a lot of weight for me. So he's dragging Diebler with him up there in the top 3.
Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. And you can stop just managing your money and start building wealth. Me personally, I'm spending way too much money going out to eat. I got 2 kids. I'm tired. It's easy to go get food from the fast food restaurant. I know I got to keep that in check. And with Monarch Money, instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year. All right, so JR's got Ohio State at 3. Ken, who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Illinois. That's where I have you guys coming in at. Bielema is my favorite coach. I'm on record saying that now. I just decided that towards the end of last
You're going to
football.
get good morning videos of Bielema instead of
Dude, I actually was thinking about if I'm going to do Braun and just like stick with the Northwestern thing, or if I'm going to switch to someone else. I could be convinced for sure. No, I've just decided that I love him so much, like everything that he does, and like he's memeable, he's funny, he's like he's very real and like personable. So like I just like him. And also, oh, by the way, he's pretty successful with like you guys have said, not the top resources that other teams have in the conference. And then obviously Underwood has just been like a maniac overseas, like recruiting and in the transfer portal and making the run last year. And, I feel like if you're consistently in the conversation for winning the Big Ten and you're doing that at a high level every single year, you have to be towards the top of that conversation. And doubling back on what you said a minute ago, Sonny, I think this is a good point too. There's very few teams that have 2 good coaches. Like the first 2 that I put up, it was like Izzo, and then don't worry about the other guy. And then it was Ryan Day, and like, let's not talk about Diebler for a minute. But Illinois and Oregon, which is my 4th one, I'll just give that away. Both have 2 really good coaches, and there's something to be said about that too. So I have them coming in at 3. Yeah.
The other thing, Kent, is if you did decide to do that Good Morning Bret Bielema video, he's on social media enough where he absolutely would see it, and you would get at least 1 retweet this season. He does it already with a lot of content creators. So it's got to be
a different song, though. Like I got to save Good Morning for Collins, which, by the way, Coach Collins has for sure seen the videos. I know for a fact he's seen those. But I might have to switch up the song, though.
We'll figure that out.
We'll see.
Number 3 for me was USC. I really like Eric Musselman as a head coach. I think he's going to have the Trojans successful in the upcoming years. Lincoln Riley admittedly has struggled a little bit when it comes to his tenure in California, but his track record at Oklahoma, he's made the college football playoff. I just think I put a little bit more weight, I think, in having a good balance of coaches. And so I don't think either Lincoln Riley or Eric Musselman are bad coaches. And so that's why I wanted to include them on the list. If you take a look at my list, Illinois, Oregon, USC, all 3 schools, in my opinion, have at the very least B- on both sides. Any thoughts on USC?
I think it's a good sleeper pick. I think it's one that not a lot of people think about. I know when I posted the thing from the Wisconsin site on Twitter, they had Riley and Musselman down at 13, which I thought was way off base. I mean, they had them under Foster and Cronin, and I was like, no, not at all. They should not be under Foster and Cronin. I wouldn't necessarily put him top 5 for me personally, but maybe I'm ignorant of Musselman's career. I know he has a few good years at Arkansas, but I also know there were some years that maybe weren't as great, and then this past year at USC left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. So, but I can definitely see why you would put them up there.
I just know Underwood can't beat Musselman either, so maybe I'm slightly biased when it comes to this. I think we've all listed our top 4. Am I right? Let's just recap. Ken, who are your top 4 so far?
All right, I got Michigan State, Ohio State, Illinois, and then Oregon.
Okay,
I didn't say my 4th yet. I have Oregon, Illinois, Ohio State, and sorry, Illinois fans, Purdue.
Okay, and I've said Illinois, Oregon, USC. My number 4 I said was Ohio State. And I'll just kick off my number 5. I think, I hate saying this, it's Purdue, mainly because now we've kind of run out of the balance. So if you notice, my 4 was Ohio State, championship winner, arguably the best coach in the conference with Ryan Day. Number 5 for me, Purdue. You have inarguably, in my opinion, the best coach in the Big Ten Conference in Matt Painter. I think Barry Odom is an average coach, and that's exactly what I think Purdue's okay with that. They've got a B- level coach, maybe a C+ coach. And so I think Matt Painter's carrying most of the water here, but I've got Purdue at number 5.
Yeah, Purdue's at number 4 for me. Painter's carrying most of the water. He just, time and time again, he is able to bring in players, develop them. I know they had a little bit of a tough season last year with Heidi and some other guys, but I was really impressed with him going to the transfer portal and picking up guys and even going international and get that, what's his name, Mayer, I think it is, Omer Mayer, and bringing him in. So he's no Brad Underwoodovich, okay? He's not that, but he is doing some foreign talent. Maybe him and Brad had a conversation at Big Ten tournament days or something.
What Brad needs to do is go out and recruit a 7'3" guy, and just basically return the favor. You know what? If you dabble in our territory, we'll dabble in yours.
I have Michigan at top in my rounding out my top 5 here, and I think I looked at what you guys said, and I kind of wanted to throw somebody else into the conversation too. But gun to my head, I probably would say Purdue because of the same stuff that I said earlier about how one coach can kind of carry you up to the top a little bit higher, and that coach obviously would be Matt Painter. But there's not a gun to my head right now, so I'm just going to say Michigan, and they're number 5 right now. I like Dusty May a lot. I think that he'll be able to adapt to what college basketball is changing to over the course of the next 12 years. If he stays at Michigan, then I think that it'll be a really good thing for them. And I think that they're always going to be competitive and in the conversation for winning Big Ten tournaments, winning Big Ten championships, and making runs. To me, I don't know about Sharon Moore yet because I feel like a lot of what happened obviously in Harbaugh's absence was a product of Jim Harbaugh. So some of those wins to me, like, okay, yeah, they go on his record, I guess, but it was Jim Harbaugh's team still. So I don't really give him credit for that. And it remains to be seen what he's going to do with recruiting and moving forward through what college football is changing into. And if he'll even be there, to be honest, he might be gone before this season starts. Who knows? So I don't really know, but I like Dusty May a lot. And obviously I think Michigan's always going to have a good football coach there. So Sharon Moore, he's done what he can, I guess, so far. And I'll just put them in the top 5 at this point, mainly because of Dusty, though.
No, I get it. I mean, I'll give you guys permission as well. We'll all do one notable teams that didn't make our top 5 list. And for me, Michigan is right there for the same reasons that you said, Kent. I really like Dusty May. And it pains me to say this. Obviously, Illinois has had a pretty good run against the Wolverines on the basketball side. Well, actually, on the football side, too. Let's not forget this past season. But, I think Dusty's really going to build that Michigan team to be one of the best maybe 4 teams in the conference for the foreseeable future. I think they've got a bright future. Sharon Moore, like you, I'm not sold on. I still need to see a lot more, but no pun intended. But yeah, no pun intended. But again, we're at the point in the list where, again, I'm looking at the other coaching combos. And to me, I think Dusty's ceiling is higher than anybody else that I haven't named yet. And so I'm going to name Michigan as my honorable mention off this list. JR, I don't think you've said your number 5 yet. Is that right?
Yeah, my number 5, and honestly, this one in Purdue could have been interchangeable, but it's Michigan State. And then my honorable mention after that would have probably either been Michigan, or I want to do this one, but he's not actually coaching the Big Ten yet, so I don't think I can do it. I want to do Iowa with Ferentz and McCollum, but I can't put him in the top 5 because McCollum hasn't coached in the Big Ten yet. We got to see what happens.
Kent, who's your honorable mention?
Man, I actually have 3, but I'm not going to – I guess I won't name them all. But I'll just do Northwestern because David Braun came in into a tough situation and made them bowl eligible. And, like, talking about doing stuff with, like, absolutely no resources or good – I'll just say good – I'll say it. They didn't have good players. And he made them bowl eligible in his first season. So that was really impressive. And then, obviously, Chris Collins is the best coach in America. So – he brings them all the way up a lot into this conversation. I really should have had, honestly, I really should have had them number 1 because he is the best coach in the country. So it's really tough to say that. But, yeah, I like UCLA. And I do got to say this, too. Indiana, you have Kurt Cignetti, and then you also don't have Mike Woodson anymore. So you're doing really good.
All right, boys, I appreciate having you guys. And before I let you go, I'm just curious. We went a little long on that first segment, so I ended up I'm going to turn that one into 2. What the intention was for the next segment was going to be talking about, I wanted an outsider's perspective on how the Illini basketball and football off seasons were going. I talk about it every single day on Locked On Illini, but the Illini fans know what to expect of me. I wanted your guys' opinion. So let's just say I'll give you guys a minute each just to give your thoughts on both football and basketball from an outsider's point of view. How are the Illini doing? JR, I'm going to give you the floor first.
Yeah, starting with football, you brought back so much talent. Returning production is super high. Luke Altmaier, he's not getting nearly enough respect for what he deserves. And Bret Bielema, he said the other day, he had a $5 million budget last year, and he was able to compete with teams that had upwards of $20 million or more in their budget. So overall, Bret Bielema, great season last year. They're building off of it. They're bringing back players. It's obvious that the team is bought in, and there's a great culture there. So overall, could not be happier for Illini fans right now for the football program. Then you look at the flip side, the basketball program. Underwood is just really thinking out of the box here. He brought in Andre Stojkovic, and that was a great addition, but he's also going out. We talked about it, Mihailo Petrovic and some of those other guys. It's really out of the box thinking that is not going to cost as much money. And if we're being honest, college basketball right now, it's insane how much some of these players are asking for and kind of demanding. I know some people are saying, "Oh, I'm concerned about the defense of Illinois," and it's okay, but you also have to realize Illinois is not spending what's Kentucky spending over $20 million in basketball. It's insane, and they're not having to do that because Brad Underwood is not just trying to think about how to save money, but he's also doing it in such a way that he can still get good players.
Mm-hmm. Kent, how about your thoughts?
I think the offseason's going great for both those guys. You just have to ask both those guys. They just signed contracts for millions of dollars this offseason. So you have 2 very rich, very secure, very good coaches that are going to be at your university for a really long time. So, honestly, I know I'm kind of making a joke about how much money they're making, but that's something that you want if you're an Illinois fan. You want to be secure. We spent the whole first 2 segments talking about the best duos, and we all 3 had them in the top 5. You want to have those guys secured. You want to have longevity, and you want to have a program that you can fall back on and say, this is what we are. These are what our values are. And I think that's a really big thing. Obviously, there's a lot of good other things going on, recruiting-wise and everything, transfer portal, and other smart people can get into that. That's what JR just did. But as an overview, I think that it's really good to have the coaches long-term and have those guys locked up for a long time, and they're rich. So if I am going to make that video, I think Bielema should, hand down a couple shekels for me to put that together for him, right? He's got it to spare now.
I'd rather he reserve that NIL for the future recruits of the Illini. Before I let you guys go, let the folks know where they can find your work.
Yeah, the Big Ten Huddle. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, all those places, putting out lists. It's list season right now, so we dominate list season with the graphics and everything else. So find all your lists over there. And if you want to see Nebraska and Iowa and Ohio State, Michigan fans argue and call each other stupid names, just go on into the comment section, and then you can watch us live on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. for football. Basketball, taking a little bit of a break right now. Like I said, I'm just not into the NBA draft stuff. I'll pick it back up after the NBA draft stuff is over, but I can't do NBA draft. Sorry, I'm a bad podcaster.
We cover enough NBA draft on Locked On Illini. Ken, how about yourself?
I mean, speaking of breaks, I'm on the biggest break ever. I've hardly been doing anything, but I'm on X at Casual Big Ten. Once the football season gets a little bit closer, I'll be doing a lot more and making people upset with power rankings and all that good stuff. So, yeah, just over on X and on your guys' shows every once in a while. Go check out the wrestling show we did on JR's on the Big Ten Huddle. That was fun.
I appreciate you both. And as Ken said, hopefully I'll be seeing your guys' faces in the near future. Thank you, guys. And that's going to just about wrap it up for today's Locked On Illini. Thank you so much for making us your first listen. For your second listen, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings to be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Once again, a very special happy Memorial Day to all of you, friends, family, everybody. I do hope you get to enjoy yourself a little bit on this Monday. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel and make sure you've hit the like button already if you haven't. I'm going to continue to provide you coverage every single day. Another friendly reminder, June 20th, we're going to be having our first ever Locked On Illini group outing at the Cubs game in Wrigleyville. If you can't make it to the game, at least join us before or after the game. And then June 25th, we'll be all watching the NBA lottery at a local brewery somewhere in the Chicago suburbs at some point. If you want to join the Illini discourse, all day, every day, we're talking Illini. Make sure you join the Talk Illini Discord. The link should be in the description. That's going to wrap it up for today. We have so much content for you this week. Just know I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, ILL, love you guys.